Hi everybody. Well, this is about the fourth or fifth time that I've tried to make this video, so we'll see what happens. Okay, we are working on Simplicity 9603. Now, this is going to be a very short video. I wanted to show you how to do a couple of things. I don't know if I'm going to use these in this garment or not, but the problem I'm having is it's fraying, and I'm afraid it's going to fall apart when I try to wash it. So I spent the other day learning how to do a few things, and so I thought I'd show you how to do a French seam, a stitch in the ditch, or a ditch seam. Some people call it stitch in the ditch, some people call it ditch seam, same thing, different names. But the French seam, and I don't know why it's called a French seam. I assume that a tailor in France probably came up with it first, but I don't know. I have no idea where it came from. But I had to pause a few minutes ago and put in a new bobbin, so I have a full bottom now, and we'll start out with that. And what I'm going to show you is how to do a French seam. This is going to be a very short video, I hope. I hope I can actually make the video this time. So, a French seam makes an encased seam so that there's no raw edges on either the outside or the inside of the garment. And this is such a neat trick. I thought I'd show it to you. What you do with a French seam is, first of all, you do not sew pretty sides or right sides together. You sew the wrong sides together. That is your first step. So we shall turn you around here and drop you down. There. So you want to sew your seam like that. All right. Now I didn't backstitch or anything. So now we've made the seam, and turn you back around here for a minute. We've made the seam. That's just I don't know what is going on, but the last couple of days, it seems like the threads are just sticking to my hands. I don't know if it's just whether it loves me. Look at that. It just kind of static cling or atmospheric conditions or whatever. I can't get rid of it. See, I can't get rid of it. Okay. So the next thing that you want to do after you sew the wrong sides together is you're going to trim as close to that seam as you possibly can. So you get just as close without cutting it. If you cut it, you've ruined it. All right. So now we've cut it as close as we can. The next thing is to open it up and flip it the other way around, kind of press it, and then finger press it if this fabric doesn't want to finger press. I played around with it the other day and it just doesn't, so give me a second. So you want to flip it around this way. Now then, we've got pretty sides or right sides together, and we're going to sew it again. So turn you back around here to where you can see the sewing machine, and we're going to make a narrow seam here. Cut this leader off. I'll use that for an ender in a minute. Okay. So hold that and make sure that your seam here is straight, that you're not rolling from one side to the other. This has to be straight. And you want to stitch along here. Okay. And then when you open it up, see that? See how nice that looks? And then the back side looks nice. It's finished. It looks nice. So now we'll open this up. Now then, if you've got like a waistband or a facing or something like that, that you will make sure that it stays down where it's supposed to be, you will want to do what is called a stitch in the ditch. And I can show you that on here, on this. It doesn't necessarily mean that you want to do a stitch in the ditch on your French seam, but it is possible. And ditch stitch, stitch in the ditch, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to go ahead and press this back to make it a little easier to do, but you basically flip it over like this. pressing it down makes it easier to do. Now, you can do this with your zipper foot. You don't have to go out and buy a stitch in the ditch foot, although they do make them. Your zipper foot will work just fine. I think that's what this is, because this ridge right here that's on here will glide right along there. Excuse me. Excuse me. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put this foot on because, like I said, your zipper foot will work. But you take this thing that comes and just ride it right along that groove that seam is making. We're just going to use this as a demonstration. And drat. Okay. Now, what I've been doing to thread a needle, I've been either using lip balm or a glue stick, both of which you probably have laying around the house, to kind of stiffen the edge of the thread. Make it easier to, if you have an automatic threader, you don't really need to do this, but if you don't, and this sewing machine does not have it because it is a stripped down model, so far I've been pretty satisfied with this sewing machine. Okay. Now then, let's try this again. So you've got this seam along here and you want to encase it. Take this and just put it right on the edge of that seam. And you're going to, and then usually, I mean, your thread's going to be matching. I've been using this bright colored thread so you can see what I'm doing. But ride that right on the edge there. And, you know, for, this is the stitch in the ditch. This is how that works. And that, that makes a very nice encased seam there. Very helpful for, waistbands and facings and things like that. And probably when we get into facings, we'll be using this quite a bit. This is the end of this tutorial. I just wanted to show you this. This is actually two things I've done in one time. I've done the stitch in the ditch and the French seam at the same time. So, I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. And I plan to start another video right away, like in a few minutes. Excuse me. And we're going to be doing the shoulder seams. I want to sew in the sleeves today, and we'll see what happens after that. I would like to get this thing finished. I really would. So, I'll be right back. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you. Bye.